Welcome to FS Talks. I'm your host, Gohar Sharoyan, and this is a podcast on living and learning across cultures. This podcast series is dedicated to meaningful conversations about culture, migration, belonging, identity, and learning and living together in Luxembourg. On this podcast, you will hear personal stories, valuable insight, and open discussions on the intercultural life in Luxembourg. This project is brought to you by FS Luxembourg with the support of Fondation Sommer, IHU, Radio ARA, and the Media Center of the University of Luxembourg. Hello and welcome to FS Talks on Living and Learning Across Cultures. I'm your host, Gohar Sharoyan, and on today's episode, I'm excited to introduce to you my guests. Here we go, guys. I'm going to mention your names and please wave to our audience, whoever is watching this podcast, so that they know who I mean. So, welcome, Mehdi, Aravind, and Eduardo. Welcome, guys. Hello.
Hello.
So nice to have you here, and thank you so much for coming. And you didn't come alone. You brought your instruments, which are here on the table. But before getting there, let's talk a little bit about you guys. So you are a part of a group. I'm going to say group. It's called Belong, but we will discover later more what it actually is. I wanted to ask you about your personal journeys. If you could talk a little bit about yourselves, how did you become part of Belong? What brought you here? So would you like to start, Mehdi?
Oh, me? Yeah, okay. So, actually, I just came to Luxembourg 2 years ago, or maybe more, 2.5 years ago. And when I arrived to Luxembourg, because always in my traveling or wherever I lived, so I was looking for musicians to have fun, to play, to listen more, to discover more. But unfortunately, when I arrived to Luxembourg, so I tried to find, okay, what is happening, where is the good concert, good musician, but I saw everything is classic music. And I try in Facebook, I try in Instagram, I Google to find something that I can connect, because in classic music, Western classic music, I didn't know, still I don't know anything about that. So, and finally I found Belong, and actually someone introduced that something is happening in Belong, some workshop, and I searched, and I saw one of my friend. He is teaching tambour. I said, oh, he is in Luxembourg. But I understood, no, he comes from Belgium, but for Belong, for having workshop and concert. Then I was so happy because I saw many musicians from different country, different culture, different nation, and that was the place which I was looking for. So I found my friend. Now I met Eduardo, I met Aravind, and others Belong. And so till now I'm trying to find something to understand, to learn, or to teach in Belong, which every day, always when we are there, had something for us.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I stop now.
Thank you so much. Aravind?
For me, so I'm from the south of India. So throughout my childhood, I was raised in the South Indian musical tradition. It's called Carnatic music. So India has two classical music traditions. The north has the Hindustani music and the south has Carnatic music. So I grew up learning all this, or being in an environment that's where you are surrounded by this everywhere. I mean, it's part of culture. It's part of everything, your life. So you go to a temple, you hear it. You go somewhere else, you hear it. So it's everywhere. So at some point, I moved to Europe. And that's when I realized even more how much that music was part of my life there. So I suddenly felt this huge void, huge emptiness. I did not have my instruments with me. So I am also I'm a percussionist, and also I'm trained in the Carnatic singing. So I moved to Europe, and then it really hit me that I am without a huge part of my life that I left back. So that's when I needed something to fill that void, and I was looking at the instruments that I could get there in Europe. And then I got the guitar, then I got some other instruments, and then somehow I was trying to be involved in music. And in that process, it also opened up other traditions of music, which I was completely oblivious to being in India. And then over time, one day I just saw that somebody was offering a Swedish music workshop. I didn't know anything about Swedish music. I just know that, okay, Sweden is a country, nothing else. And that's when I contacted them, and it was Adam, and he was saying, we are going to play Swedish music. Then I said, I don't know anything about Swedish music. Adam was saying, yeah, me too. We are just learning, all of us together. And then I went there. We all were students there. Somebody was explaining what Swedish music is to us. It was like how you're a child. I was again learning from scratch, which felt amazing. And then, it has been 4-5 years now that I'm playing with Belong. Yeah, that would be my story.
Lovely, thank you so much. And Eduardo?
Well, my story is a bit similar to theirs. I arrived as a student for the University of Luxembourg, and I came with a few of my instruments, actually the ones I was worst at. Just like, because I knew I was gonna feel alone and have a lot of time to play alone. It's normally like this when I travel, at the beginning at least, while you're finding people. And I tried to contact different peoples, different environments, and of course in the classic I was also incapable of expressing and joining on the rock and the metal that I like to listen to these things, but when I play, it's not the thing that I like to play, and I didn't even know what I like to play until I started to get involved with Adham and Belong, and found the thing I like to play, the thing I'm most useful at, because if I come with my instruments to a metal jamming, I will be completely useless. But here you become part of something, and you find the way to do it because we all teach each other. And as Aravind say, we are all students at that point, and one day we will be the teacher because we all teach each other. And like this, we create not just a conscience of the different styles of music and ways of living music and learning music and understanding music that are very different, and it's very rich. And we learn all this, and we are also creating a new genre, because if you go to one of our concerts, it's the same band and it's the same musicians playing, but music inspired from everywhere in the world. So it's like a new genre that it's coming up.
That's so cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Now I wanted to ask you, so of course our audience, maybe some of them or a lot of them already know Belong, and they maybe have already gone on the website, read about it, or even attended some workshops or events and concerts. So besides the very official definition of what is Belong, what is it for you?
It's a place where everyone can belong. That was the whole idea of the group. Whatever you are playing, whatever artistic way of expression you have musically, you can find a place there. We will all be all ears open, all hearts open, and then you can belong. That's how I see it. Whatever you bring, you would find a place there. That's what I always think of Belong as. So I wouldn't call it a group, I wouldn't call it a band. It's just, if you hear maybe what we play once, it's impossible to recreate that again, because it's completely spontaneous, it's completely improvised. Mm-hmm. So even if you listen to the concert twice, it's very rarely can you say, oh, this song I heard on the other concert. So even for us, we don't know what we are going to play next. So it challenges you in a good way, where it brings out all this creativity out of you. So that's what I think belong is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe you guys
Yeah,
have
what
something
do you
And
else.
actually, I want to add something that, as Aravin said, we cannot call it band or group or any community. For me, belong from beginning till now is open circle. Musician, different people, they come, they join, but at the same time, some people they leave. But this circle is alive, and that's very beautiful. And always you can go. It's not like, for example, a restaurant with always you get same food. Every time is different taste of Mexico, different taste of India, different taste of Egypt, Iran, which my country. So, and always when we go there, we see new people with new instrument, and that's very. It's a good challenge always for musicians to see, to hear new things, and that's I like about belong. And but for me, the friendship is more important, and there I feel I have friend. That's beautiful for me.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Edu, do you have
Yeah,
something to add?
For me, I thought this from the beginning is my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
All practically all are part of belong or have been, and
Mm-hmm.
so when we meet, it's like the great party.
So there is actually no specific criteria. What musical instruments you're playing? What I don't know, education you have, musical background. Like, as you said, whatever you bring. Is this what you mean? You're welcome
Yeah,
with whatever you come.
I mean, education itself, I mean, we are people from all around the world. So everywhere, the criteria for what is an educated person is different.
I meant
so-
more like musical education.
Yeah, even
you know?
musically.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I was asked a question, what conservatory did I go to?
Mhm.
I mean, in India, you don't have a conservatory,
Mhm.
so I didn't go to. So according to Western way of looking, I'm not a trained musician, but I
I see
went
what
with
you're
a
saying.
teacher for many, many years. I actually went to learn music even before I learned to read and write. So it's different from the Western lens. Am I educated? Maybe not, but so I don't see how we can have a criteria. If you have something to offer, there's always a place that you can find. That's how I can, in my very humble opinion, put it. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is something that we all share in belong, and Arabit said it before, that is the open heart and the open ear. And this is very hard to understand for some musicians, open ear. And in belong, I think the people who stay or who carry this vibe, the fire of the group, are the people who have an open ear, who are able to play their music, express, and at the same time give space and listen to everyone at the same time. And I think that's the people who stay with belong. Or that's the criteria. I mean, if you want to come with an electric guitar and smash it all the time, it's not gonna fit with the rest of them.
It's not.
It's gonna become
work.
another thing.
I see.
I mean, somehow another criteria that I can think of, maybe technicality wise, is so if you look at some of the music that's played, for example, say Egyptian music, you have notes that cannot be played on a piano, for example. So because there are microtones that in Indian music you have all these bends, microtones, that how do you approach that microtone if you're playing that scale? So maybe in an instrument you should also be able to include that, even if it's not purely possible to play it in an instrument, you should be able to accommodate it. That's one aspect I would say is very necessary to play with such a multi cultural group of musicians. But if you're going to stick to I mean, it's all okay, everyone are it's just like sometimes you pull hard, sometimes you let it go for the other
Mhm.
person to. So this is one small area that I would say, criterion I would say, is necessary to play with this group.
So probably more time and experience to
Yeah,
get used to
yeah.
all those, what you mentioned, the multicultural
Yeah, exactly.
instruments and
exactly.
styles.
And also the possibility to go into another tradition without completely butchering it or without compromising your own music's tradition. That is, these are the two things I can think of.
That's very fascinating. Menji, do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. So when you speak about everything that you just said, like this coexistence of all these different musical styles and instruments, and actually this openness to hear something new, discover something different, a new influence, a new style within the context of belong. This makes me think also about Luxembourg somehow as a country in which we're pretty much doing the same in that sense of living all together, coexisting all together. Since this podcast is called Living and Learning Across Cultures, I was thinking, do you see any parallels between what you experience about living in Luxembourg and also being part of Belong? Like, what are similarities and what are also differences, I guess, if there are? What do you think about that?
I can talk about what I experienced.
Sure.
It might not be universally right, but
there is no universally right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, being in Luxembourg, in my musical journey, I was exposed to a lot of musical traditions. That's something that I've not seen anywhere else. I mean, just for example, last week I was playing with Mehdi, and he was telling me this whole repertoire of Iranian music. It was incredible to. We played together an Iranian scale. We might play it later today. So that's because I was here, that there is somebody from another culture who is. And then if I go back, I was playing with some people from Senegal, Gambia. So coming from India, this is a completely different world for me. And they started telling about what music meant to them. And in African music is part of culture. Music is used as a tool to fill a way of communicating within the culture. So they have traditions, so all this I was given all this by these people who I met in Luxembourg. So I'm playing a lot with them now. It even ended up in me going to Senegal for 2.5 weeks, taking music lessons there. And then if I go back again, there is a flamenco dancer, Rosa, who was dancing with us with Belong, incredible dancer. So once she was teaching me a bit of flamenco and how the beats in flamenco go. So I was able to learn that. So I would say this is just a melting pot of cultures. And then if you have the ear and the heart for this, again, I would say that you can learn a lot from people of different cultures, and then that also really enhances your own music, your own experiences, your own vision for other music traditions and cultures. So I would say it's incredible in that aspect. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course, I'm waiting. I'm all ears. Everything is so interesting. I want to hear everybody's experience.
Yeah. In Iran, so we don't have that much. We have a lot of old music, folk music, traditional music, but just around 200 years ago, they wrote the note. Before that, there was no note, same like India. It was just by saying, learning by heart, and hearing that. And those countries which they have this culture, musical culture, heart by heart. Actually, they hear the music with heart and they give it by heart. And always there is no pen, no paper to read or to write. And many people, they talk about third eyes. But I believe in third ear also. Because when your third ear gets open, then you are not the same person. You will change. And that's, I can say in Belong, I felt a little bit because there is no paper. People, they talk, they hear, they play, they exchange. And that is something I like, to melt inside this new soup, actually, to go inside that and to vanish, actually, you know. But at the end, you cannot see the ingredient of the soup, but you can taste it at the end.
And I bet it's delicious.
Yeah. At Belong, sometimes with many musicians, maybe you cannot hear very well what Arabin is playing at the corner, because sometimes it's crowded, a lot of different instruments. But slowly, you can taste Arabin at the corner, even just with 2 notes, you know. And that is something else also I wanted to share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you think this is similar of like living in a country like Luxembourg in those same metaphors?
Luxembourg, actually, it's a very complicated country, you know. Everything is very small, but everything is far, you know. There is 180 different nationality living here, but you cannot see them very well because everything is very small at the corner. And for me also, finding those people, friends, musicians, it took more than 6 months. But usually when I went to India, in first day I found myself, because I saw that cafe they are playing, there is a street player playing Sarinda, so I could find myself the direction. But here was very difficult. I went to different concert, but that was not my favorite music. But I wanted to see other musicians. Maybe at the end I find someone. And yes, I don't know what to
I
say
see.
more.
Okay, so it takes more time here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I don't know where to start. Belong, to keep it alive, has been very hard, very difficult at the level of dealing with certain institutions or traditions of how to deal with things in this country. And not to go too far on this, I just want to say that Belong has been a very nice subject of study of how to do things whenever you are overwhelmed by these different nations and you want them to be included, not to be together, but as Mehdi says, everyone is in his corner and you don't see each other and you don't experience the interchange. It's not possible so far. But Belong has been a project that allows this and allows it in the way that there's no clear leader. There is, but you have to look very carefully to find him. And you will see he's very essential, but it's not clear, you know, that he's not the guy shouting at anyone or putting this country has more value than this other, or these people, or this approach to music, or this way of learning music. No one is above anyone, and everyone will have his chance to share his music from the heart. And that's when it works, when we get richness on our set list, that our set list, who could you say they know it? Like 6 people? No, 30 people know our set list in this country. They can play on our songs. So, but it gets richer and richer when it's this way, with humility and the capacity of listening and considering everyone as high as you and everyone else. So I think Belong has been a very nice experiment of how this can work. Because if we keep like this, it's not like at a country level, I think it's not going in the right direction. Sometimes it might cause some problems, and it can be, as I said at the beginning, overwhelming to have all these differences. But Belong has found a way for people to express themselves from their hearts and meet each other and create something new and have us all happy, because the 3 of us, would have a very different life if Belong didn't exist.
Mm.
So we are very happy, and everyone who goes there.
And also, I think in Belong, we have been able to keep the music unique because we are not completely copying a song and trying to cover it in a way that it's exactly that. So we try to go. So as I said before, in every culture, music, there was a reason why they came up with their music without contact with any other cultures. So we kind of try to respect that. And we don't, for example, coming from India, I've been asked a lot that, okay, do you play Bollywood music? But with Bollywood music, that's maybe what sells in India, but it might not always be possible to play some music that's outside of that in this Bollywood framework. So, but in Belong, we don't do those covers kind of such. So there have been a lot of pressure to go into any of these directions. But I think with Belong, we have been able to keep it still quite unique. As in, I mean, we can go anywhere and play without a copyright issue because it's folk music. Nobody owns folk music. It's just, we can take it because it was there for a reason and then do what we want with it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I think it just boiled up to this moment that we're gonna have to you're gonna have to introduce what you brought with you, which instruments you brought with you, and then if you can take a few minutes to play something for us, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So it's called tambour.
Mm-hmm.
It's old ancient Iranian instrument, and it's used to play for Sufi gathering. And but now it's in the world of music. It's not so just about the Sufi. So do I need to explain more?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This instrument is called the kanjira. It's an instrument from the south of India. So traditionally, this is made with the skin of a monitor lizard, a reptile, and now it has become an endangered species. And a lot of smart people have found a way to make a synthetic skin that really replicates the behavior. So it's actually fascinating because every culture, this is such an easy instrument to make because you take any skin of an animal, put it into a round frame, and you get it. So in every culture you have this. But what is unique about this instrument is that you can modulate the skin with your left hand and create different frequencies. And in Carnatic tradition, this is an accompanying percussion instrument. It's not the main percussion instrument, so it cannot take center stage. It accompanies a main percussion instrument. And this is not my main instrument, but this is such an easy instrument to carry. I just bring it everywhere I go, and it fits perfectly with everything else. So this is called the kanjira.
Amazing. And today I brought a few flutes. I wasn't sure what my friends were gonna bring, but I was almost sure it was gonna be these two instruments. So I chose this Mexican flute. It looks like a Carnatic bansuri, but it's missing one hole. And recently with Adam we had a workshop of making flutes. And the way to attract people to the workshop is working yourself. So I worked on this flute, and maybe it will be coupled. I will be able to play it.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Wow. This just spoke for itself, this beautiful performance.
This is one old maqam, or we say maqam, but in other, especially in Arabic and also in Turkey, they say maqam. I don't know why, but we call it maqam. Maqam means actually all the maqam, they are one form, but old, which heart by heart, now we have it. Now we can say it in scale, I don't know, tune. But as I told you, this instrument is coming from the west of Iran, from Kurdish area. I'm not Kurdish, but I love them because they are very nice people. And this instrument they just play it in Khanaga. Khanaga is a place for the dervish to gather to play. And they have their own ceremony and they have their own religion. And I don't want to talk about that. So I don't know how many years ago, a person who was a tambour player, he dreamed, and in his dream he was playing this piece in front of the king. But king, it's not actually king. In their religion, king means the great master of that divine, that belief, that spirituality way, that path, they call it king, Shah. And this maqam, he dreamt he's playing in front of the king, which whole his life he was looking to maybe one day to see that person, but in his dream he was playing in front of him. And he woke up, he took the tambour and he played the same. And he put the name of Jolo Shahi. Jolo Shahi means in front of the king. And it's very, for years and years, this maqam is everywhere. And it has a tendency, you can continue, and make a trance, actually. And that's now Arvind said, maybe it's good to share about the story of this. And we just played together one time, last week, and we found, oh, that's nice, we can do it again. Now the idea, because we play, and the idea came, let's play the game together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the story of this maqam, this composition, this form, I don't know how to call it.
So you just decided to play it now spontaneously?
Yeah, just when we sat down, we just decided we'll play this.
Yeah, what to play.
And actually, when I played this last time, that was the first time I heard about this. And I was playing the tabla with this, the Indian tabla. And I couldn't believe how well the tambur and the tabla sounds together. Mm-hmm. It was, it's instruments from two different parts of the world. And suddenly it's together and they sound so beautiful. And even now, I don't know if anyone has done this before, but this is an instrument from the south of India, what I played, kanjira, playing with an Iranian instrument, and it sounds like they are made for each other. It's
wow.
Yeah, and maybe it's also because, I mean, if you look at the history of India and Iran, there have been a lot of exchanges. The north of India were ruled by the Mughals who had roots in Iran. So culturally as well, there has been this mixing going on. And maybe that prompted this sort of developing in such an instrument. And then on a different note, I think it's the first time Eduardo is playing to this. So maybe that also gives a good demo of what happens in Belong. He just picked it up. He's really good.
He tried.
Oh, okay. So
he
it
has
was
never
partially...
heard about this before.
Yeah.
I think he just heard it now. He just, it fit. So
there is still the improvisation partially included in this.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And how did it work for you? How did you feel?
I mean, when we play maqam or we play a rag, what you learn is not a composition, as you were saying, there's nothing written, but there's a sort of a vibe and a sort of story. Like you start in a specific, maybe not so fast. In this case, for example, probably this piece is to be played in the Sufi in the Sufi gathering. So it has that dimension of trance music, the real trance music, and so as a musician that I've been in Belong for so long, I already know, okay, they say two words, maqam, this one, and the scale, and I imagine how am I gonna be able to surf that wave? And you see it coming.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful because I've learned we can share this code, and what I wanted to say is then everything is improvised actually.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
That's the beauty of music, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now, for me, music is like it's a conversation, and for your conversation at the morning when you are going out, you don't prepare your note. Okay, I say this to bus driver. If someone say hello, I say.
Very true.
But you learned all the words, but you do always improvisation in your talking, in your speaking. Music is like that. So if you have only one piece, so after one piece you say, okay, challenge.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. But when you don't have that piece, but for 2 hours you're talking, playing, and you cannot understand when time is passing, how time is passing. So I love improvising in music. I like improvisation, and for me that is the real music. Of course I want to say other musician, other genre, other type of music, they are doing their best, they are trying, they are writing, so I don't say no, they are wrong, we are doing the good things, but this is me,
Sure.
And again I go back to belong, because it's happening there, improvisation, and that's I like.
And also talking about conversation, it's what I always think about is, okay, you know when to speak, but do you know when not to speak? That's also an important part of a conversation. So when you see that the other person has something to do there musically, you need to kind of pull back and give them that space to do it. For maybe if we look back at what we played, in the beginning, Mehdi wanted to start, but he was playing the scale, and then Eduardo had something to do there. So we both really pulled back. And then later on, again, when Mehdi was going, we both pulled back. And then I was improvising in the beats when they both were being stable, so that we don't completely throw it off. So it's also a way of knowing the person, like the personality of that person. When do we go in? When do we go out? So give them the space, take your own space when you need to. So and again, in between, Eduardo did some improvs, and then Mehdi was holding in the strumming. I was holding the same beat, and he did what he wanted to do. And then it all blend together into one piece. So maybe when somebody listens to it, they wouldn't really catch it immediately, but this is what went behind it when we just played now.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think to coming to the end of this episode, there is one last question that I would like to ask each of you. Since we spoke so much about Belong as this place where you create the music, as this place where you feel like you belong, I just wanted to ask you about your personal perception of the sentiment of belonging in general.
If I may go first, for me, it's about, have you found your things there, your people there, your places there in that one place? Because what exactly is home? If you remove all the sentiments and all the people you love from that place you called home for a long time, is it anymore your home? So here, there are certain routines that we stick to that make us feel alive. Like some Saturdays we already have planned, and then I expect to go and see Mehdi there and then Eduardo there. So that's home for me. There are certain expectations, not in a bad way, but you know that we will play together and you'll definitely feel good at the end of it, and that's home. It's there in every aspect of your life. What do you do this day, this evening? It's some things when you repeat, it's comforting. Even in music, you just some things you're good at, and you repeat it, and you feel confident about yourselves, and that also paves way to learning more things. So that's how I feel what home is, that you are comfortable enough to go and find your things and then come back to somewhere where you feel safe and where you feel heard and where you feel loved. So that's what I think about what home is.
Well, it's a privilege that some people achieve, some of us achieve, when finding a community around you, even better if there's an activity, or if it's your job, even better, where you can express yourself freely and with a complete confidence. That's when you belong, and I think, and it's something very important that sometimes we forget, that it's so important to feel that what you're doing for work and for expressing and all these things are making you happy, and you are being able to do the best out of you that everyone can, just the right conditions. That's the right conditions for it.
If I could give an example of, like, Eduardo was not here for some time, and we met, I think last time when you came back here, he immediately spoke to me about a raga, a scale that we were playing together a year ago. And then we immediately started speaking from where we left off about that raga and what we played. And then that is home. Like, we both belong in such an environment where we are talking about it. So that is also home, where we both belong, talking about what we love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mehdi?
I say it's home, school, how I can say, is a club, because we enjoy also, we do party, we play, we meet, and for me it's very nice when I think, as Aravind say, oh, this Saturday is coming, and I go to Belong, and I see friends, and we exchange, we play, we learn, and friendly home, not with angry father, because sometimes in your home there is an angry father sometimes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it happens.
But no, it's very friendly, and you feel easy there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
It's super interesting, very enjoyable. I thank you so much for sharing all that you had to share, including this beautiful musical composition that you played.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much for having
conversation.
us.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao ciao.
Ciao ciao.
It's still filming. I'm gonna keep this in.